Hello and welcome to the show. Today's recording is taken from my desk, and so expect to hear the usual interruptions because the whole family is home. Now, the goal of this show is free business education, so if you've stumbled upon this podcast, don't worry, you are in the right place, especially if you have some questions that are business and sales and marketing related. So, by the time we are done, please share, promote, and talk about the show so that Nigerians home and abroad can benefit from the questions that we tackle. They can join us by subscribing Spotify, YouTube, Apple, or any player of their choice. And like I said, if you have any sales and marketing questions, then bring them to me. Call, SMS, or WhatsApp on 080-6466-2140. Today on the show, some comments about the right way to use the phone, and then I'm going to share some conversations that I've been having with some podcast listeners because there are some, tangential issues that I think will be of benefit to some of you who are listening to the show. Now, first off, a podcast listener that I tried to hook up with someone else, and I got in touch with the fellow, and I'm like, "Hey, how far did you call?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been calling the guy. I've called, 4 or 5 times, and the guy hasn't responded." And so I figured, well, let me just deal with that on today's episode because I talk a lot about how you can use the phone to move your business forward, and I try to drop lots of tactical and practical things about how you can use the phone. But I guess there's one thing that I haven't said before, and that's this whole thing of repeated calling. Now, this is the way the world works for now, at the date of this recording. Maybe in 2042 or 2072, things might be different, but right now we're in 2025. And the truth of the matter is, most people do not like to answer their phone. Especially if you are a stranger, most people don't like answering strange numbers. I hear it's a global thing, so it definitely is a Nigerian thing, especially since we're trying to avoid 419 over here. So if you're a stranger, most people are not picking up their phones. So if you're calling someone for the first time and you blow up the guy's phone or you blow up the lady's phone, 4, 5, 6 calls and you're a stranger, you actually are irritating the person. But then some of you might say, but Tabishima, you've been saying we should use the phone. And yes, you still should. So this is what you do. You send a text message afterwards. In fact, what I have started doing is I now send the text message before so that people know what's up that I'm going to call. So right now, what I do is if I'm going to call someone who's a stranger, let's say I have it in mind that I want to call the person like around that kind, maybe 10, 11. By 7, 8 in the morning, I shoot a text message so that by the time the guy finishes driving or the babe finishes driving to work and she sits down at her desk, she pulls out her phone, she'll see my text message. And it will say something like, hello, is this Julia Ogedengbe? I got your number from Kizito Daniels. I'm calling concerning XYZ. I'm just sending a text message ahead so that you know who I am before I call. Looking forward to chatting with you later in the day. Send. Now what happens is that some people respond to that text message, and then we now end up, chatting over SMS if that's what they're a lot more comfortable with. But you see, it's a very simple something. So for me, that's what I do now. I haven't always done that, but that's what I do now. Hello, is this so and so? I'm XYZ, calling you because of so and so. I got your number from blah blah blah. I would like to call concerning this. Would you be available to talk around 10 a.m. today? Send. Come up with something. But that's what I do now. Something that just lets the person know that, look, I'm a stranger. This is how I got your phone number. I will be calling at so and so time. If it's okay by you, this is what I want to talk about. Are you okay with that? So I usually send that text message, and then I usually send that WhatsApp. People who love the WhatsApp thing will WhatsApp me back, and then we end up, chatting anyway. So that's one way of going about it. Now, let's say you're going about it the older way, which is what I used to do, which is you just call first. The person doesn't respond. Instead of buzzing 4, 5, 6 times and irritating the person, after the first call, send a message. Hi, is this so and so? I am this. I got your number from this particular person. The reason why I'm calling is because of this, and that. Let me know when you're available to talk, and I'll call you back. And then send. On the person's time, the person will see it, And, the person may respond, the person might not respond. But the thing is, by the time you call again tomorrow, you're not that much of a stranger. And you're not that much of an irritant. Because the person has gotten a heads up that somebody got their phone number from Engineer Unoha, and the person is calling because of the New Yam Festival that is coming up next month, and the person wants to collect all the annual dues so that they can send it back to the village as the contribution from the sons of the soil living in Abuja or something like that. The person now has an idea who you are, why you're calling. You're not that much of a stranger. So please, from a very practical point of view, never you blow up somebody's phone 4, 5, 6 times in a row. No. It's okay to blow up somebody's phone if you are related to the person. So if I call my wife 5, 6 times, yeah, that's okay. It's me and my wife. If I want to annoy her, it's my prerogative. The same thing. If she wants to blow up my phone 5, 6 times in a row, in fact, if my wife should call me more than twice, I'll know that, oh, okay, this is something that's really, really important. So I need to call back now. Same thing with other family members. So never blow up anybody's phone, except if they're your family members. But even for your family members, just know you'll be giving the person high BP. The person will be wondering, this one Uncle Femi is calling me like this. What's happening? Maybe somebody has died. So don't blow up people's phone, except if they're your family members and it's an emergency and you have a good reason to do so. So the options we have explored are, you can do like what I do now, which is send a text message ahead. Let the person know that you'll be in touch. Or you have called, the person didn't answer, then send a text message so the person knows who you are, why you try calling, what you wanted to talk about, stuff like that. It makes the person either disposed to answering your phone call the next time you call, or some people who are text message people or WhatsApp people will just take it from there. And yes, some people may say, oh, okay, just send me an email at so and so. In that case, now that you're dealing with an email person, go ahead, send the email. Nothing is 100%, but I'll say that's the proper way to do phone etiquette. So, let's see, what next? So, conversations with, I've been having with podcast listeners. I said, let me just share a couple of things. So, first off, shout out to Joy Osagi, who reached out to me on LinkedIn. She's a listener of the show, and she's a Google My Business expert. Now, it's nice to run into a Google My Business expert because this is something that is necessary for most people and they do not realize it. Because Google can serve as an online billboard. Because often we're trying, maybe not us, but customers are trying to look for one thing and there's lots of internet traffic. And if you do a good job with your Google My Business profile, then you're sort of like a billboard on the internet. Let me give an example. So, back in the good old days, when I was still active in the wedding photography space, somebody might type best wedding photographer in Abuja and then hit send. And then some web links will come up on page 1. But then at the right hand of the page, especially for those of you who are doing the search on desktop, you'll see some kind boxes there that will say this photography, 506 people rated them 4.5 stars. This photography, 12 people rated them 3.2 stars, something. I mean, you're just there like a billboard. It also works the same on the phone. I just can't remember how Google My Business results are displayed on the phone, but you're just there like a billboard. So the person has seen, it's an option, they might click through. And so it even happens when people search other kinds of businesses related to your field and when people are looking for your own your competition. Which is why I say when you run adverts, please stop running people to the web because, if they fall on your website, all well and good. But the thing is, if they forget or they've made a mental note or something and they now have to search, if in any way they get back to the Google search pane, the thing is it's free for all. Your competition will be there. They might see you in the link, but Google My Business profiles, they'll see other people on the right-hand side, which is why I think when you're running advertisements and stuff like that, send people to a nice, cozy channel so that you can have a correct one-on-one conversation with them. Which is why for me, I say, send everybody straight to your inbox. Send them to your SMS. Send them to your WhatsApp, one-on-one conversation, no distraction. Okay, well, or send to your email. Some people are email people, like we've said. So, bottom line, what I'm trying to say is Google My Business, very, very, very good asset. So, if you've sorted your Google My Business, well, first of all, you have to claim the Google My Business profile because Google does. I don't know if they still do it, but in the past, they used to do this thing where if there's some kind of activity around the business, they will just create some profile about the business. So the profile is there. Nobody has claimed it. You can now take things the extra step forward because if you look at it and say, oh, Google has profiled my business, you will now go ahead and then click and then claim. Enter the proper phone number, enter your proper address, upload some nice pictures from the outside, your building, upload some nice pictures, your finished product, upload some nice pictures, you interacting with customers, you know. And even if you don't have a website, it's just nice having that kind of real estate online that people can see. Like I say, it's like a billboard. They'll be searching one thing, and then conveniently, your Google My Business will now show up on the right hand side of the screen. That's if I remember correctly. I think it's on the right hand side for people who are using laptop or a desktop to search. So Google My Business, very, very important thing to do. So if you happen to run into Joy Osage or any other person who says they are a Google My Business expert, sit down and have a conversation with them. You might get one or two pointers. Let's see. Okay, I'm assuming that most people are free with information like I am. Well, hopefully, if you run into any of these kinds of people, they should be free with small information. You might learn one or two things. But either way, it's necessary for everyone, and it's also a good way to beef your SEO as well. Make sure that you SEO now, search engine optimization. Search engine optimization just means how do people find me online. So it's a good way to beef, to what's that word? To enhance, to improve, to make sure that people find you online. So it's a good idea. Then also ratings and reviews also help here. In fact, a conversation that I had also another podcast listener, Faye Onalaja, that's a huge part of her strategy, making sure that people rate and review because man, that thing is gold. Think about it. Somebody searches best amala joint in Abuja or best cake maker in Abuja or best Ankara business in Lagos, and then Google My Business profile show up, and there's one business that says one person has rated it 5 stars, another one says 400 people have rated it 3.2, another one says 23 people have rated it 4.5. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, some people will forget the fact that one person has given you 5 stars complete and might look at the other one that plenty people gave 3.2, hundreds of people gave 3.2, and that the other one that dozens of people gave 4.5. So it's not even that you're rated the highest, but sometimes it's the number of people that have also given the rating. So that also helps with the what will I call it, social clout. It's a kind of signal share. So these things are very, very important. And some people get discouraged. They say, I've been sending, but people are not really answering. That one is just normal. If you ask 10 people, give me a review, I doubt 10 people are going to respond. If 10 people respond, then fantastic. Glory to God. It's all good. But to be honest, let me not guess, but let me just say, if you ask 10 people, I don't think 3 people will answer you. I don't think up to 5 people will answer you. But the thing is, you keep asking anyway, because if out of every 10 people you ask, 3 people answer you, by the time you have asked, if 10 people ask and then you have 3, by the time you ask 100, you would have had 30 reviews. So that's how it starts. All those people that you see on Google My Business, because there was one photography outfit, let me not call their name, but I saw that they had 200 and something reviews. And I was thinking, what the hell? Like, how is that even possible? This is how it's possible. They just kept asking. You ask, you ask, you ask. Some people will say no. Some people will ignore. Some people will say yes. You just continue. And after a while, one day, your competition wakes up and then they will see that you have 200 and something reviews. And the new people who are trying to look for you will see the 200 and something reviews and will be impressed. And because of that reason, they will call you. Hopefully, at that point, your telephone game will be strong. your sales game will be strong. So you'll be able to have a nice conversation and get some business after that. So, anyway, bottom line, Joy Osage, thank you very much for listening to the show. This is me shouting you out, and this is me saying that people who are in your line of business are very, very important. So people, go and check out Joy Osage on LinkedIn, or keep your eye, shine your eye for people who are Google My Business experts. Well, by the way, Joy, I hear that Google is going to be sunsetting the Google My Business feature. In other words, they want to retire this thing. That's just the gist I've been hearing. I don't know if it's true. If it's true, let me know so I can come over here on the podcast to let them know that, you guys rush you and claim your Google My Business because they're going to take away the feature very soon. Then she also was impressed by the consistency of my podcast because I have over 1,000 episodes. And let me tell you guys a trick. The thing is, I'm not really that consistent because, I have over 1,000 episodes. But if you check it, I've been podcasting for like roughly 5 years. So even if I wanted to be podcasting 5 days a week, if you do the math, you'll see that actually there are times when, I've disappeared for like a week or two. So I've not been that consistent. But then if you want to say consistent as per I've kept at it for 5 years, okay, then maybe that's it. But the bottom line, what I'm trying to say is some people put themselves under pressure. Like maybe they see me 1,000 episodes and then they feel the pressure. Like, don't worry, nobody's perfect. There's no need for the pressure because if you check, you will see that there's gaps. 2 weeks I've disappeared, you didn't hear from me. 2-3 days, I'm missing, that kind of thing. I think the longest I went there was 1 month, I think, that I didn't record at all. And that was, personal family issues. So just don't put yourself under pressure. The thing is, just do the best you can do. If you decide that you want to be posting twice a week, just, do the best you can do. The times that you disappear because of family issues or maybe work is too much, it's not a problem. When you can come back, you just say, okay, I said I was going to be doing this thing 3 times a week. Let me continue doing it 3 times a week. So thanks for applauding my consistency. But please, let her not put any of you under pressure. There's no pressure. Just try. For me, I said I was going to do at least 3-4 times a week because I know myself that if I say I want to do once a week, before you know it, 2 weeks go on past and I won't have done anything. So that's the reason why I try to do it as often as possible, just so that there's something there when you guys check. And apart from that, it was also a deliberate strategy on my part because I was trying to overwhelm the market with value. Because let's face it, I wasted a lot of time doing a bunch of whole other stuff. Well, my wife says it's not a waste anyway. But finish with law, photography, exports, documentary. I've done a bunch of stuff. So honestly speaking, when I was coming into the consulting space, I knew that, yes, I know my onions, but let's face it, I am way behind my contemporaries. So I had to overwhelm the market with value. So this was deliberate, that if I put out this much resources into the ether, valuable resources, people will see that this guy is not daft. Like, he knows his stuff. Let me give him a shot. So it was part of a deliberate strategy. I recognized that, look, man, I was coming from behind. Because there's this guy that I was talking to. He's a thief boy. I can't remember his name. Sabi Consulting. But he does consulting in the NGO space. And at the time, me and Sabi were gisting. Sabi was celebrating like 15 years in the field. So that's just what I'm trying to say. My contemporaries, in age, or people that I graduated school with, they already had been doing consulting for like 15 years. By the time I wanted to throw my own hat into the ring. So I knew that, look, I was seriously coming from the back. So I needed something to distinguish me, set me apart. And it was a gamble. Because at the time I started podcasting 5 years ago, podcasting was not a thing in Nigeria. So I just took a gamble that, you know what, Nigerians know today listen to podcasts, but with time, maybe it will work. And yeah, so far it looks like I'm on the right side of history. More and more people are listening to podcasts. So it's just one of these things. It's a gamble, but then that's how business is now. We take educated guesses on some things. Then she said she's looking forward to us working together. Joy Osage said she's looking forward to both of us working together, and I am. It's the whole point of the podcast. That's why I put these episodes out. So I'm looking forward to working with as many of you as possible. Now, she says that more people need to hear the good news, and that's the reason why I keep saying that, look, you guys, keep sharing the podcast, keep spreading the good news. Let people know. that we have homegrown, relatable, practical business podcasts. Let them know. The Gist podcasts are there. Yes, I like menisms. They're correct guys. They make some mistakes, sure, but anyway, they're young. So as they grow older, they will learn. I also like I said what I said. I like the gist, especially when they counsel some stupid people who are having some kind like mad relationship issues. I like the honest bunch. That time that Chinedu said he had the 411 on a Nigerian Nollywood starlet who was having conjugal relations with a snake, if we can put it that way. I wish I had called her name. I really enjoyed that episode. So yeah, I listened to all those things. But once we're done with all these gossip podcasts, there are other podcasters out there, not just me. I mean, there are other people. There's a podcast that is run by the NESG. That's the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. They have their own podcast. There's also a podcast by this tech, I can't remember. It's not TechCrunch, Tech something Niger. They have their own podcast. There's also Politics Roundtable, although that one is politics. Then there's, so there are many. I consider myself a pioneer, but there are many, many, many others that are coming up. So not just my own show. After you're done listening to my show, search again. You find that there are lots of good Nigerian podcasts, business podcasts that are coming on. Then Joy Osage wanted me to be on Instagram, and I told her, look, man, I don't tire because I'm doing the podcasting thing. I'm building consultancy services, and then I'm not promoting my media services anymore. But if good money comes, I'll take it. Like some people that are owing me money now, it was a couple of M's. I spoke to the boys. They said, it looks like it's a good thing. We'll run them. And, we did. I was expecting some good money. So if that one comes, I also do that as well. Then, what else? Apart from that, being a dad and being the designated driver because we're a one-car household, my hands are full at the moment. And I don't want to touch anything except if you think it's going to put more money in my pocket. And to be honest, Instagram and all that, social media, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job. And I don't want another full-time job, except it's going to bring me some sweet money. Then there's also security risks because my Facebook was hacked last year. I told you guys, so that's why I just shut down everything. So maybe when I have a team, I'll be back on all the extra things on TikTok, on whatever is draining at the time. But for now, Joy Osage, thank you very much for the support. No, I'm not going to be on Instagram. And a whole host of you have been saying I should be on Instagram, I should be here, I should be there. But you're not going to find me for now. And these are the reasons why. So Joy Osage, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Then shout out to Feyi Onalaja. She has a gift business in Lagos, and it's called Imaginate, but it is spelled Imagin and then the number 8. So Imaginate. So what they do is they do personalized magazines and storybooks. They do photo albums, affirmation cards, stickers, things like that. Really, really, really good stuff. And the reason why I'm impressed with this young lady is because I've made like 2 or 3 episodes about the gift business, and I've been talking about how you people in the gift business, you guys need to distinguish yourselves because some of you are just, you just come across as glorified hamper pushers. Because you're all doing hampers, you're all doing biro, you're all doing folder, you're all doing diary. Like, it's pretty much the same thing. The only difference is quality and maybe where you're sourcing from. So some people are producing everything here in Nigeria. Some people take it a step forward and you do only exclusive leather, something, from Milan, so more high end. But essentially, you're kind of all the same thing. So for her now that is doing gifting, but with these personalized elements, like even making comics where the person that you're sending it to features as the hero. I mean, it's mad. It's different. I'm definitely going to try her out. So we should always be looking for ways of distinguishing ourselves from the competition. In fact, that seems to be a theme running through this. Remember, I said that I knew I was starting really late because my contemporaries were already doing this thing 15 years, roughly 10 years. So if I was going to enter into the consulting space, I had to distinguish myself. So for me, podcast, that was going to be one way. And then for Faye Onalaja, for her, not just hampers, but then all these other things, the personalized magazines and stuff like that. So check her stuff out on Instagram. She's there at Imagine 8 Gifts. Again, it's IMAGIN number 8 and then gifts. So check her out. It's all written as one word. Now, Faye, also have to appreciate you because she said she shared my podcast with her mom, and I really appreciate that. The reason why I appreciate you, Faye, is because, to be honest, it's usually the older guys who pay good consulting fees. So I appreciate that you're sharing with Momsy. And Momsy, if you're listening, I beg, share with your colleagues too. In fact, Mama Faye, I want to say Ekushe and Ekaro and Eku Bogboyin and Eku everything. And I also want to tell you, Mama Faye, well done for raising an enterprising daughter, because it is women, Abi, how will I say it now? It is women like your daughter who are the future of Nigeria. And I want to say thank you very much, ma, for doing the good that you've done in raising her well, supporting her entrepreneurial dreams, and making sure that she's set on the right path. And also, Faye, thank you very much for sharing the show. Then Faye also told me, because I've been talking about how in the future I'll move to a bigger house, maybe 6 bedrooms. Now go and corner 1 bedroom and just kit it out, so it's a recording space and things like that. And Faye told me, she said, look, there's no need for a future studio, there's no need for a higher production value. And I said, why? And her response is, the thing that makes my podcast endearing is that there's no forming. I keep it relatable, and I'm just shooting it like it is. And if I'm at the mechanic, I'm just recording. If I'm at the market, I'm recording. If I'm outside the bank, like, I'm not forming. And yeah, she gave me second thoughts. And yeah, so maybe this whole thing of let me move into a 6 bedroom and then convert one into a studio, yeah, maybe there's no need for that. So thank you very much for your encouragement and your kind words, Faye. And this whole thing of not forming, it's because back in my youth, I tried some forming and I'll never do it again. I had this very good friend, Nana Onyirimba, and they used to like to play SNES. SNES is Super Nintendo Entertainment Systems. I don't know if people still play SNES nowadays. So everybody was talking about SNES, and I wanted to be one of the cool kids, because Nana Onyirimba, he was his popsy was with Ministry of External Affairs. My own father was with NTA, and those Ministry of External Affairs kids, those people used to ball, they used to travel anyhow. Today they're in Nigeria, tomorrow they're in Japan, next year they're in New York, just a travel So always be one of like those cool Ministry of External Affairs kids. So I now told a lie. I said that I have a SNES. And then that's how Nana Onyirimba, his older brother, he and his older brother, they showed up at my house to play SNES, and then there was no SNES. Man, that thing blew up in my face. Blew up in my face real bad. Real bad. And after that, I swore that, man, I would never form again. What I have is what I have. What I don't have, I do not have. Who I am is who I am. I will not try to be bigger than I am. I will not try to be from there. I just say, I won't form again. So anyway, so that's where part of my no forming attitude came from. So Faye, thank you very much for the kind words. Thank you for sharing the podcast with your family members, especially with your mom. Let's see, what else? Well, thank you for encouraging me and letting me know that when I'm recording and my baby comes and says, Daddy, I want to poo, that, it's not a problem. Or if there's a cow or a chicken in the background, or the mechanic is calling my attention, that, it's not a problem, that I should continue. So I'm going to continue with my podcast episodes. Then, let's see. Okay, final conversation now, because it's almost 30 minutes. Let me free you guys. So, conversation with Emmanuel Kanebi. Most interesting surname so far. He's a former sales manager who has a specialization in ERP implementation. So basically, that's just enterprise level software. And then, of course, remember that on this podcast, every single time I say enterprise, what I mean is big business. So, like Zenith Bank, Access Bank, or Ministry of External Affairs or whatever, big business, plenty of offices, plenty of managers, plenty of buildings, their software needs, their stationary needs, their whatever needs are different. For me, if I buy one ream of paper, I'm fine. To be honest, I can use one ream of printing paper for like 2 years. But unfortunately for me, my sons love origami, so they're always making stuff. So if I buy paper today, a whole ream of paper, before you know it, 3 weeks, a ream of paper has finished. I'm like, what the hell are you boys doing? So, but for enterprise people, one ream of paper is nothing. Those people have to buy reams of paper in the hundreds or maybe even the thousands. Like if you're thinking maybe Federal Secretariat, I'm sure they have to buy reams of paper in the thousands. So their needs are different. And people like Emmanuel Kanabi, those are the people who know how to hook them up with software solutions that can help with human resources, or can help with customer relationship management, or can help with accounting, or with database management, or whatever. So like I said, Emmanuel Kanabi is a former sales management. Former sales manager. It means that right now, the guy they find work. So, if you're looking to hire somebody like that, get in touch. Check him out on LinkedIn. Emmanuel Kanebi, Kanebi. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Give him a call. Let him know you heard about him on the podcast. You heard that this is what he does. You are hiring, and these are the requirements. You guys have a chat. He sounds like a correct guy. We've had a couple of conversations about how I could have helped them out with his previous employer. So he's a correct guy. Reach out to him. Then Emmanuel Kanabi said I should be on YouTube. And see, this is the reason why I said let me just feature some conversations with my podcast listeners, is because I really appreciate the love and support when you guys reach out. You guys reach out, you encourage me, you say this is what you've learned, you like my progress. Some of you end up being clients, and some of you say, have you thought of promoting yourself like this? Have you thought of promoting yourselves like that? So today's episode, the thing is I can't acknowledge all of you, but just to show that I hear all of you, I appreciate you guys. I love you all. I love the support. I love the ginger. I love the encouragement. It really keeps me going. So I really, really, really appreciate it. So just like Kanabi, trying to talk about how I can grow on YouTube. And yeah, I know that I've been slacking on that for a while. So that's the reason why eventually I hooked up my podcast feed to YouTube, so that whenever I publish, it now doubles automatically on YouTube. So like now on this particular one that I'm recording now, by the time I hit send and I'll upload on the podcast, the thing will just materialize on YouTube. So right now, all my episodes, over 1,100 episodes, everything is now there on YouTube. So yeah, it's a faceless channel, but at least I'm there. But the same thing, Emmanuel, thanks for the suggestion. But to be honest, I'm not going to sit down and record any YouTube videos, because I don't have to worry about costumes, lighting, composition, editing. And like I said, I'm not looking for a second job now. I was thinking about maybe taking YouTube in that direction, but then after talking to Faye and a couple of other people, this whole authentic thing is my vibe anyway, so I might as well stick with it. Except if YouTube is ready for that kind of content where somebody just shows up with a phone and records, shoot straight and then upload. So if the time comes for that, maybe. Then Emmanuel also said he was looking forward to some of my stuff causing controversy. And to be honest, I told him I don't think anything I say is going to cause any kind of controversy. So on Gist podcast, yes, like I said, The Honest Bunch, there was controversy that time that they invited, what was this guy's name? Sorry. They invited Peter Obi, and then Peter Obi said some stuff, and then that thing caused some controversy. And there's this time that they invited this musical producer who said some stuff about the gospel industry, and then that caused some controversy. So yeah, Gist podcast, they can cause controversy, but I doubt there's anything I say that will cause controversy. Excuse me. Also, one of the reasons why I can talk freely over here, because it's a business show. How many people are listening to even begin with? And who's going to hang around for... But bottom line, business podcasts don't cause any controversy. And the thing about business podcasts anyway is that those of you who listen to shows like this, you're a different crop. You guys are very, very intelligent. You're motivated, and you guys have your critical faculties in check. So even if I say something that might be off-putting, I know that you guys can interpret it in context. So I don't think there's going to be any controversy. But like I said, the long and short of today's episode is almost 40 minutes. So let me just round up just to say thank you very much to all of you. I love you guys. I love you all. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the encouragement. So even though I've only highlighted Joy Osagi, Google My Business Expert, check out on LinkedIn, Feyi Onalaja, who is in the gifting business in Lagos, Imaginate Gifts on Instagram, and Emmanuel Kanibi, sales manager, specializing in ERP implementation, enterprise resource planning. Abi, Emmanuel, if I'm wrong, just correct me. I can't cram all the acronyms. So even though I have just highlighted these three, I just wanted to let you guys know that for all of you who reach out, we've been chatting, small, whether SMS or whether LinkedIn or whether WhatsApp or whatever, I feel you. I appreciate you. I see you. I value you. Thank you very much for listening to the show. Thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you for your advice. And thank you for supporting me in this journey. It is my prayer that in your businesses, God is also going to raise up people who will equally also appreciate you, like you, support you, encourage you, and help you move on to the next stage of your life and moving on to greater thresholds. So thank you very much, dear listeners and people who have stuck with me for the last 5 years, and people who are going to be with me for however long the journey continues on the podcast. So that's all for today, folks. Remember, if you have sales and marketing questions, bring them to me. Call, SMS, WhatsApp on 080-6466-2140. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'll catch you, dear listener, at the next episode. Oh, and before I forget, please, if you're calling somebody again, please don't blow up somebody's phone by calling 4, 5, 6 times. Send a text message first, then call. Or if you call, the person didn't answer, send the text message then, so at least they know who you are, why you are reaching out, and then they might be open to talking to you. So I'll catch you guys at the next episode.